The city of New Geneva was bright with lights, a capital built after centuries of struggle. It was the place where the leaders of Earth gathered. It was the symbol of peace, unity, and hope. Inside the Grand Hall, the Earth leader stood tall. He was not only a politician, but also a father figure to billions. His voice had carried Earth through wars, through hunger, and through the first steps into the stars. The people trusted him, they loved him, and they believed he could lead them into a golden age among the galaxy. But shadows were moving. Enemies far beyond Earth had grown jealous. The alien empire called the Horde Dominion feared humanity's rise. To them, Earth's growing power was dangerous. They wanted to stop it before it became unstoppable. On that night, as the Earth leader addressed his people, the attack came. A sudden flash, a pulse of energy ripped through the hall. Screams filled the air, guards fell to the ground. In the chaos, the leader collapsed, his chest burned by alien plasma. People rushed to him, but it was too late. Humanity's voice of hope was gone. The news spread in seconds. Every screen across Earth lit with the same message. The leader is dead. Shock turned to silence. Silence turned to grief, and grief turned to anger. Billions wept in the streets. Men and women who had never met him cried as if they had lost a father. Children clung to their mothers, asking why the aliens hated them so much. The assassination was not just the death of one man. It was a strike at the heart of Earth. Within hours, the truth came out. The weapon that killed the leader was traced to the Horde Dominion, the same empire that had warned Earth never to expand further, the same empire that had watched humanity's colonies with cold eyes. Now the proof was undeniable. In the great chamber of the United Council, voices roared, generals demanded action, scientists whispered of weapons locked away for too long. Even the common citizens cried out for vengeance. The council voted, not with hesitation, but with fire. Humanity would not bow. Humanity would not forget. Humanity would strike back. Across the planet, industry roared awake. Shipyards burned with light as engineers worked without sleep. Old war machines were pulled from hidden vaults. New designs were rushed into reality. The stars above Earth filled with the shapes of warships. Soldiers lined up by the millions, their faces hard, their eyes filled with wrath. They carried no fear, only purpose. The leader's body was laid to rest under the sky he once dreamed of conquering. Millions stood in silence as his coffin descended into the earth. But in that silence, a fire was born. A young officer whispered to her comrades, "They killed him, but they will never kill us." And her words spread like flame from soldier to soldier, from citizen to citizen. In every street, in every home, the same words were spoken. They took our leader. Now we will take their empire. But questions remained. Was the Horde Dominion alone? Or were there others who stood in the shadows, waiting, planning, ready to strike Earth from behind? The galaxy trembled, for it had seen humanity's fury before, in smaller wars, in border clashes, in rebellions. But this was different. This was no longer defense. This was vengeance. For the first time in history, the fractured nations of Earth stood as one. No borders, no divisions, no rival flags. There was only one banner now, the banner of mankind. In orbit, the first fleets began to form. Sleek warships armed with weapons no alien had ever seen. AI-driven cannons, railguns the size of mountains, engines that could bend the fabric of space. The aliens watched with unease. The assassination was supposed to end Earth's rise. Instead, it had united them. Instead, it had lit a fire that could burn across the stars. And as the first human fleet prepared to leave the solar system, a message was broadcast across the galaxy. It was simple. It was final. You killed our leader. Now we come for your empire. The stars themselves seemed to grow colder. The empires whispered in fear, for they had awakened the wrath of mankind. This was only the beginning. The stars above Earth glowed with silent fire. But in the shipyards orbiting the planet, there was no silence. The forges burned. The hammers struck. The engines roared day and night. The death of the leader had changed everything. Humanity was no longer a dreamer among the stars. It had become a storm, and storms do not whisper, storms roar. Factories on Mars worked without rest. Giant machines carved steel into warships. The moons of Jupiter turned into bases filled with weapons. Even the cold rock of Pluto carried hidden cannons pointed at the void. In the council chamber, generals and admirals stood around the great table. They spoke of strategy. They spoke of vengeance. Their voices heavy but united. Never before had humanity spoken as one. But beneath the voices of unity, there was something darker. Scientists whispered of a project kept secret for decades, a weapon so powerful it was called only one name, Wrath of Earth. It was never meant to be used. It was too dangerous, too final. But now, in the fire of grief, it was being prepared. Admiral Cade, a man with steel in his eyes, stood before the council, his voice steady. They thought killing one man would end us, but they have awoken something greater. We will not stop until their empire is dust. Billions watched the broadcast, and the words of Admiral Cade spread like lightning. Families gave their sons, colonies gave their resources, even the poorest villages offered what they had. Humanity was not just building ships, humanity was building vengeance. But the enemy was not silent. In the distant stars, the Horde Dominion moved its fleets. Massive armadas formed. Their war drums echoed across the galaxy. Other empires watched, some in fear, some in silence, some in secret joy. If Earth and Horde destroyed one another, the galaxy would be free of two rising powers. In the shadows of space, an alien council gathered, cloaked in secrecy, their voices cold. Let them bleed each other, one said. When the storm is over, we will take what is left, another whispered. But not all aliens agreed. One voice, soft and sharp, spoke against them. You do not understand humanity. You think they are fragile. You think they will break. But I have seen their eyes. They will not break. They will rise higher than you imagine. Her words were dismissed, but deep in her heart she knew the truth. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and it would pay the price. Back on Earth, the First Fleet gathered, thousands of ships shining with silver hulls, their engines glowing like suns. Each ship carried the wrath of billions. Young soldiers, men and women alike, stood ready in their armor, their eyes filled with fire. They had grown up hearing stories of alien superiority, but now they were ready to write new stories, stories of human dominance. A young pilot, barely 20, looked at his squadron and whispered, "They killed our leader, but they gave us a reason to fight. Now we fight not for one man, but for all mankind." His words carried across the unit, and in that moment every soldier felt it. They were not just fighting for revenge, they were fighting for survival, for pride, for the right to exist among the stars. Yet among the unity, shadows lingered. Rumors whispered that the assassination was not only the work of the Horde Dominion. Some claimed other hands had guided the blade, other powers had given the order. If true, then humanity's vengeance would not stop with one empire. It would spread across the galaxy, until every enemy who touched Earth's fate was ash. As the First Fleet prepared to launch, Admiral Cade sent a message to the Horde Dominion, his voice cold as iron. "You murdered our leader. Now we come for your armies. We will not stop. We will not forgive. We will not forget." The galaxy trembled at the message. Worlds far and near went silent because they knew what was coming. A war unlike any before. And above the Earth, the wrath of Earth stirred in its hidden vault, a weapon so vast, so terrible, that even humanity feared it. But the time was coming when fear would no longer matter. The storm was rising, and nothing in the galaxy could stand against it. This was only the beginning of vengeance. The first human fleet left the orbit of Earth like a storm breaking free. Thousands of warships moved in silence, their engines burning with hidden fire. The stars above seemed to watch in fear. For the first time in history, humanity's fleets were united, no longer divided by nations or politics. There was only one banner now, the banner of vengeance. Their target was chosen with care. Not the Horde homeworld, not yet, but a stronghold near the galactic border, a fortress world called Koresh, a place filled with weapons, ships, and pride. The Horde believed Koresh was untouchable. They had guarded it for centuries. No enemy had ever dared to strike there, but they had never faced mankind. As the human fleet approached the shadow of Koresh, silence filled the command decks. Every soldier, every pilot, every admiral knew this was more than a battle. This was a message. Admiral Cade stood tall, his eyes cold as iron, his voice calm. "We strike once, we strike hard. Let the galaxy see what happens when you murder Earth's leader." The order was given, and the void exploded. Railguns fired. Beams of light cut through the darkness. Missiles streaked across the stars. Human ships moved with deadly precision. The defenders of Koresh scrambled to respond. Their ships poured out from the fortress, massive cruisers and battle platform. As opened fire, but it was chaos. The humans had come with new weapons, cannons that ripped shields apart, AI drones that moved faster than thought, warheads that bent space itself. In minutes, the proud defenses of Koresh cracked. Alien ships burned. Stations collapsed. The fortress world shook under the fury of mankind. A young human pilot flying through the chaos shouted to his squadron, "This is for Earth. This is for the leader." And his squadron tore through alien fighters like fire through paper, but deep inside the command deck of the alien fortress, the Horde commander watched in horror, his face pale. "Impossible," he whispered. "They should not have this power, not this fast." As the battle raged, something darker appeared, massive shadows on the scanners, humanity's secret weapons. The Wrath-class dreadnoughts, ships so large they blotted out the stars. Each dreadnought carried weapons never seen before, and when they fired, the void itself seemed to scream. Entire fleets of the Horde vanished in a storm of light. Koresh burned, and the galaxy listened, but the victory was not without mystery. During the chaos, strange signals were detected, encrypted transmissions leaving Koresh not towards the Chor core, but to other unknown coordinates. Admiral Cade frowned as he studied the reports. "Someone is watching this battle, someone who is not Horde," he whispered, and his heart grew colder. The battle ended in hours. Koresh was dust, its proud towers nothing but ruins. Humanity had spoken, and the galaxy had heard the voice of wrath. The message spread faster than light. Alien worlds trembled. Rulers sat in silence because they realized the truth. Earth was no longer the weak world of the past. Earth was a power that could destroy empires. On Earth, people cheered. The death of the leader had been answered with fire. Families raised their hands too. The sky and cried out in pride. But far away, in the secret alien council, voices rose in panic. "They destroyed Koresh in hours," one shouted. "If they continue, no empire will survive," another whispered. And in the shadows of that council, one figure smiled, not in fear, but in something colder. "Good," he said. "Let the humans rise. When the stars are covered in their fire, then we will strike them all at once." Humanity had won its first strike, but unseen eyes were already setting a greater trap. The storm had begun, and the galaxy was caught inside it. The galaxy had not yet recovered from the fall of Koresh when Earth struck again. The ruins of the fortress still burned, but already, whispers filled alien courts. "If Koresh could fall in hours, what chance do we have?" kings and warlords asked, and none could answer. In orbit above Earth, the fleets grew larger, but hidden behind them was something greater. The weapon that had been whispered about in secret halls, the wrath of Earth. It was not a single ship, it was not a single weapon. It was an entire system of war, colossal dreadnoughts linked by AI minds, cannons that could cut a planet in half. Swarms of drones guided by quantum thought. The Horde Dominion had believed humanity would take decades to rise, but grief had turned into fire, and fire had turned into creation. Admiral Cade stood on the command deck of the dreadnought Vindicator, his eyes locked on the stars, his voice heavy. Koresh was only the beginning. Now we show them the full fury of mankind. The fleet moved toward its next target, not a border world this time, but a staging ground of the Horde war machine, the twin planets of Draenor and Vask, worlds filled with shipyards and soldiers. As the human armada arrived, the stars lit with war. Horde fleets rose in defense, thousands of ships ready to fight. Their commanders swore they would not let humanity pass. The battle began. Alien ships swarmed forward, their weapons burned bright, but the humans did not flinch. The Wrath-class Adnaughts opened fire, and the void itself seemed to break. One cannon fired, and an entire cruiser wing vanished. Another beam cut through the shields of a battle station, splitting it in two. Then came the drones, endless swarms of machines as small as insects and as large as fighters. They moved faster than the eye could follow, tearing into enemy hulls, overwhelming defenses. The skies above Draenor turned red with fire. The seas of Vask boiled as wreckage fell from orbit. A young human pilot flew through the chaos, his voice steady. Remember the leader, remember why we fight. And his words echoed across the comms. But victory came with something darker. Deep in the middle of the battle, alien reinforcements arrived, not from Hor space, but from unknown coordinates, sleek black ships that carried no flag. They did not fire at the Hor, they fired at the humans. For a moment, confusion spread. Admiral Cade slammed his fist. So it is true, others are behind this, he growled. They wanted us to bleed against Hor while they hide in the shadows. The mysterious fleet moved with terrifying precision. Their weapons cut through human escorts. Their signals were strange, encrypted, untraceable. But humanity did not falter. Cade raised his voice. They think we are weak. They think we will run, but we are mankind, and we never run. The dreadnought Vindicator fired its main cannon, a beam so bright it burned like a new sun. One of the shadow ships was torn apart, its pieces scattering into the void. The rest retreated into the darkness, leaving questions behind. Who were they? Why did they strike? And how many more waited in the shadows? The battle ended with human victory. Draenor and Vask burned. The Hor war machine crippled, but the mystery of the Shadow Fleet lingered. In the council chambers back on Earth, voices rose. It was not only Hor, others aimed. For moving against us, one said. Then we will fight them all, another answered. But deep in the secret vault of the Wrath Project, scientists unlocked the next stage, a weapon so powerful it was said it could silence entire systems. Admiral Cade stood in the silence of the command deck, his eyes heavy, his heart steady. He whispered only 4 words. This war has changed. The galaxy had seen humanity's wrath, but it had not yet seen humanity's fury. The galaxy shook after the fall of Draenor and Vask. Hor fleets were shattered, their war machine broken, their rulers terrified. But humanity's war was not slowing, it was only growing stronger. Yet something strange began to happen. The stars themselves seemed to shift. Allies became enemies. Enemies became traitors. The balance of the galaxy was turning. In the dark halls of the alien council, fear spread like poison. Voices rose. If we do nothing, Earth will rule the stars, one cried. Then let Hor bleed, and when both are weak, we strike, another answered. But betrayal was already at work. Factions inside the Hor Dominion whispered of surrender. They sent secret messages to Earth, offering intelligence, maps of fleets, even names of the assassins who killed Earth's leader. Admiral Cade sat in silence as he read the transmissions, his eyes cold. They killed our leader, and now they want mercy, he whispered. No mercy, only truth. The truth was darker than expected. The assassination had not been ordered by Hor alone. Hidden within the secret messages was a shocking fact. The blade had been guided by the Council itself, a coalition of powers afraid of humanity's rise. The murder of Earth's leader had been the work of many hands, not just one empire. Rage spread across the council chambers of Earth. Voices roared. They united to kill our leader. Now we unite to destroy them all. But in the middle of this fire, an unexpected figure appeared. An alien princess of the Lithari Empire, tall, silver-eyed, and defiant. She came alone under a white flag. I bowed. Ring you knowledge, she said, her voice sharp. I know the truth of the council. I know who gave the order, and I know where they hide. Suspicion burned in every human eye, but her words were too precise to ignore. She revealed the council's secret location, a hidden station at the edge of the galaxy, a fortress where alien rulers gathered to plot against mankind. Admiral Cade studied her face. Why betray your own kind, he asked. Her answer was cold. Because they will betray me too. Humanity's war is not only your vengeance, it is my survival. Her words divided humanity. Some demanded her execution. Others said she could be the key to ending the war. But the people of Earth were not blinded. They had seen betrayal already. They knew trust was fragile. Yet the knowledge she carried was powerful, too powerful to ignore. In the shadows of Earth's chambers, leaders debated. Should they use her, or should they strike her down before her lies could poison them? Meanwhile, across the galaxy, more empires began to tremble. Some chose to side secretly with Earth, sending spies and data. Others plotted in the dark, hoping to strike when Earth was most distracted. The stars themselves were shifting. And humanity was not only fighting a war, it was shaping the destiny of the galaxy. But vengeance had not yet been complete. The assassins had not yet been punished. The Council had not yet faced justice. As Admiral Cade looked to the stars, he whispered to his commanders, "The war is no longer about Hor alone. The war is against the Council, against all who believe they could break mankind. We will find them, and when we do, the stars will burn." The fleets prepared once more. The wrath of Earth stirred in silence. The mysterious Shadow Fleet waited in the darkness. The alien princess stood in chains, her fate undecided, and above it all, the galaxy held its breath. Because it knew. The turning of the stars had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. The fleets of Earth moved like a storm. Across the void, their hulls shining with fire, their weapons ready, their hearts burning with vengeance. The target was no longer a border world, no longer a fortress of Jor. It was the hidden station of the Galactic Council, the place where alien rulers had plotted the death of Earth's leader. For centuries, the Council had been a shadow government, deciding wars, toppling empires, choosing who lived and who died, and now for the first time someone had dared to strike at them. Admiral Cade stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Vindicator, his face carved from stone. "This is where it ends," he said. "This is where they learn what it means to touch Earth." The fleets roared forward, thousands of human ships, Wrath-class dreadnoughts at the front, swarms of drones surrounding them like living fire. The station came into view, a structure larger than any planet city, its towers glittering with alien technology, its defenses glowing with energy fields. Then the darkness moved. Fleets appeared from behind the station. Not just warships, but warships of dozens of alien empires, all gathered to stop humanity. It was the largest armada ever seen in history. For a moment, silence filled the human command decks. Then Admiral Cade spoke with calm steel. "They thought this would frighten us, but we are not afraid. We are mankind, and we do not bow." The order was given. The void exploded with light. Railguns roared, cannons screamed, drones swarmed, missiles cut through the dark. The largest battle in history had begun. Human ships burned, alien fleets shattered, the void became a sea of fire. But deep inside the chaos, the Shadow Fleet returned. Those mysterious black ships with no flag, they moved with deadly precision, striking at both sides, spreading fear and confusion. Cade slammed his fist. "They are not allies of the Council. They are something else," he growled. "They want the galaxy to collapse. They want us all broken." As the battle raged, a shocking betrayal was revealed. One of Earth's allied colonies, thought loyal, turned its guns against the human fleet, their ships firing into Earth's rear lines. Panic spread for a moment, but the human admirals acted fast, cutting the traitors down without mercy. "There will be no betrayal among the stars," Cade roared. On the station itself, alien leaders watched in horror, their walls shaking with every blast, their shields flickering as human dreadnoughts drew closer. Then came the moment. The wrath of Earth was unleashed, colossal weapons fired, beams of pure destruction that tore entire fleets apart. Space itself seemed to shatter. One by one, the defenses of the station fell, towers collapsed, energy shields burned out. The great Council fortress trembled, but inside the chaos, the alien princess who had surrendered to Earth whispered her truth. "There is one more secret," she said, her voice sharp with fear. "The Council was never the highest power. They served another, something older, something hidden in the dark between the stars." Her words struck like lightning. If true, then even destroying the Council would not end the war. It would only open the door to a darker enemy. Admiral Cade's voice was steady. "Then let it come. Whatever hides in the dark, we will face it. We will burn it." The final push began. Human fleets closed around the station, cannons roared, dreadnoughts unleashed their fury, and the walls of the Galactic Council began to collapse. The galaxy trembled, watching in silence because it knew that history was changing. And above the burning station, with fleets shattered and betrayal revealed, one truth became clear. Humanity's vengeance was not finished. It was only rising higher. The station of the Galactic Council burned, its Tau. Ours fell into fire. Its fleets lay shattered across the void. Humanity's vengeance had reached the heart of its enemies. Admiral Cade stood on the command deck of the Vindicator, his eyes locked on the broken station, his voice cold. "For the leader, for Earth, This is justice. The final barrage was unleashed. Beams of destruction cut through the core of the fortress. Explosions ripped across the sky. The great station collapsed into silence. Alien rulers screamed as their empire of shadows crumbled. Some begged for mercy, some tried to escape, but humanity showed no mercy. The assassins who had ordered Earth's leader's death were executed in the blaze. Billions across Earth and the colonies watched the broadcast. Their voices rose as one. Vengeance is complete. Humanity stands. But even as the galaxy trembled in fear of Earth, the words of the alien princess still echoed. The Council was never the highest power. Her secret was revealed in the last moments, inside the dying fortress. Hidden data was discovered, records of another force, an ancient species lost to myth, a power that had guided the Council from the shadows for centuries. The data called them only one name. The Architects. Their presence was not yet seen, but their hand was everywhere, and humanity now knew. The assassination of the leader was not only fear of mankind, it was part of a larger game. Admiral Cade read the files in silence, his eyes burned with fire. They thought they could break us, but all they have done is unite us, he whispered. If the Architects are real, then we will find them, and we will bring them down too. The galaxy trembled again, not only because Earth had destroyed the Council, but because Earth now looked beyond, past the known stars, into the dark. The fleets of humanity stood victorious, battered but unbroken. Their banners lit across the skies. Their voices filled the void. A young soldier raised his rifle toward the stars, his voice steady. They tried to kill us, they tried to silence us, but mankind will never kneel. We are the storm. His words spread across every ship, every colony, every world, and the galaxy listened. For the first time in history, Earth was not a weak planet at the edge of the stars. It was the center of power, the fire that had burned empires, the wrath that had shattered armies. The war with Hor was over. The Council was gone, but humanity's path had only begun. From this day forward, the stars would not remember mankind as fragile. They would remember mankind as unbreakable, unyielding, unstoppable. And far in the dark, where no light reached, the Architects stirred, watching, waiting, their ancient designs unraveling. But even they felt it now. The age of mankind had begun.